You show up, you clock in, you do your work, you clock out, and somehow, at the end of all that, your paycheck feels smaller than it should. Not because of taxes, not because of inflation, but because somewhere between Monday morning and Friday afternoon, your boss quietly took something from you, your time, and they did it completely legally. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not paranoia. This is the architecture of modern work, and once you see it, you genuinely cannot unsee it. Let's start with something called mandatory unpaid prep time. You know that ritual where you arrive 15 minutes early to boot up your computer, log into 6 different systems, check your messages, get mentally situated, and then your shift officially begins. Those 15 minutes belong to you. You are working. But in most industries, under most contracts, that window is simply not compensated. Now multiply 15 minutes by 5 days. That is over an hour of free labor every single week. Over a year, you have handed your employer roughly 60 hours of your life at $0. That is a week and a half of work. Gone. Voluntarily surrendered, because everyone else does it, and nobody ever said you could push back. Then, there is the on-call trap. You're technically off the clock, but your phone needs to stay nearby. You cannot drink at dinner because you might get a call. You cannot commit to plans because something might come up. You cannot fully decompress because the job is always one notification away from pulling you back in. Multiple court cases in the United States have debated exactly when being on call crosses the line into compensable time, and employers have become extremely sophisticated at keeping workers just below that legal threshold. They are not stealing your time outright. They are borrowing it indefinitely without paying interest. Here is one that hits different: the unpaid lunch break that is not actually a break. Most hourly workers are entitled to an uninterrupted 30-minute lunch, during which they are genuinely relieved of all duties. But what actually happens? You eat at your desk. You answer a question. You handle a quick thing. You help a coworker. The moment you perform any work function during that break, it legally becomes compensable time. But nobody is tracking it. Nobody is reporting it. And the culture punishes you socially if you actually enforce it by refusing to engage. So you work through lunch, call it dedication, and lose hundreds of dollars a year. But the most sophisticated theft is not about minutes on a clock. It is about energy. There is a concept researchers call emotional labor, and it describes all the invisible performance work that modern employment demands from you. The forced cheerfulness in customer-facing roles, the careful management of your tone, so an email sounds collaborative rather than frustrated, the vigilance of always appearing engaged, motivated, and positive, regardless of how you actually feel. This work is real. It drains genuine cognitive and emotional resources, and it is almost never acknowledged, almost never compensated, and almost never included when your company talks about your workload. You are not just doing your job. You are simultaneously performing your job for an audience that judges your engagement level as much as your output. And that second job, the performance job, follows you home. It is why you sit down after work and cannot do anything. It is why rest does not feel restful. You spent your full capacity at the office and came home running on empty. Now, here is where it gets structurally brilliant from the employer's perspective. All of this is legal precisely because it is normalized. When everyone does it, it becomes a professional expectation rather than exploitation. When you push back, you look like the problem. When you enforce your legal rights to a real break, a clear end-of-shift boundary, or documented overtime, you become the person who is not a team player. The social cost of compliance is designed to be lower than the social cost of resistance. And the system goes deeper than individual workplaces. Labor laws in many countries were written in eras when work looked entirely different. The 8-hour workday was designed around physical factory labor. It does not account for cognitive labor, for digital availability, for work that bleeds invisibly across evenings and weekends through a device you carry everywhere and personally pay for on a plan you personally maintain. You are literally financing the infrastructure of your own exploitation. So what can you actually do? First, know the law in your specific context. Overtime rules, break entitlements, and on-call compensation standards vary by location and contract. Ignorance benefits your employer, not you. Second, track everything. If you are hourly or have any overtime eligibility, keep a personal record of your actual hours, including start time, end time, and whether your breaks were genuinely uninterrupted. Third, if you are in a role that bleeds outside your hours, start putting language around it. Not angrily, but clearly. Setting response time expectations is not laziness. It is professional boundary management. Most importantly, stop calling the exhaustion laziness. That reframe serves one party, and it is not you. What you are experiencing is a completely rational response to a structure that has been deliberately designed to extract maximum output while minimizing acknowledged cost. Your tiredness is not a character flaw. It is an accurate meter reading on a system that is running you past capacity and calling it normal. The game was set up before you arrived. The rules were written by people with different interests than yours. Understanding that does not automatically fix it, but it changes something important. It means you stop blaming yourself for being tired of something that was genuinely designed to exhaust you. And that clarity, that specific recognition of what is actually happening, is where any real change has to begin. Your boss is not twirling a villain's mustache. The system does not need a villain. It just needs you to keep showing up, keep performing, keep absorbing costs that were never yours to carry, and keep calling it dedication. You are allowed to stop.